Hello friends! The crews of the 1000 Me-24S from the Army Aviation of the Defenders are getting ready for another busy day of work on the battlefront. Living up to their motto, we fly where we are needed, which makes it clear that even in the worst conditions, they will go wherever their comrades need support, supplies, or medical evacuation. The conditions they have to face are extremely complex due to the wear and tear on their machines after 4 years of war, but that doesn't stop the aviation from being present day after day, pushing back the invader. A reconnaissance drone from the 58th Brigade identified a team of observation drone operators from the Horde operating in the village of Jalinsky or Vlastedonesk. So it began to follow them as they returned to the house where they had their base of operations. In this house, they kept their quarters, supplies, and workshops. With the coordinates already established and confirmed, the operators requested an express visit from a precision-guided rocket, which was launched by an M142 HIMARS, ruining the evening for the entire invasion platoon.
Impacto directo en todo el Ruski Mir.
The Ukrainian Security Service proudly reported that its ALFA Special Operations Center has been ranked #1 among all the subunits of the Horde. The Ukrainian Defense Forces for the number of enemy targets successfully neutralized using Mosquitoes during the month of March 2026. In a month of intense fighting, ALFA operators carried out sustained attacks, eliminated more than 10,200 Russian infantry soldiers, and recorded 7,346 additional hits on critical targets. These included 2,218 enemy drones, 90 artillery systems, numerous armored vehicles, trucks, and fortified positions, demonstrating the devastating impact of the innovative tactics they have developed and are applying on the battlefield. According to the unit, these remarkable results are due to the 24/7 work of their operators, who combine their skills as special forces operators with technological innovation, constantly working to inflict maximum damage on the invader, and who will soon begin to share their tactics with the rest of their colleagues in the defending forces. Mosquito Airlines announces the opening of its new attack route to the Perm Refinery, more than 1,500 kilometers from the front lines. It's already been 3 days of continuous raids against this Ivan's facility, which has turned a story of Perm, turned into a refinery. In this new wave of attacks, the Mosquitoes not only targeted the pumping and distribution station, but now the objective also seems to be the nearby refinery. Lukoil of Perm, which is one of the largest in Russia, with the capacity to process about 13 million tons of crude oil per year, producing gasoline, diesel, and aviation fuel. According to the SBU, the drones hit the AVT unit, which consists of atmospheric and vacuum distillation columns, and this would have put the plant out of service. What a great way to celebrate Firefighters Day, which in Mordor is celebrated on April 30th every year. Enjoy it. Speaking of Tuapse, a local resident shared footage of the improvements the Ukrainian Mosquitoes made to the local refinery. One even took out the building where the plant's control center operated. In any case, I think there's still room for another visit, since in the end you can see 2 relatively intact tanks. The damage is extensive and already falls into the catastrophic category. As shown by this footage, captured by a firefighter riding through the facilities on his truck, you can see that oil has spilled throughout the entire facility. I hope this firefighter hurries up with his work, because while I'm preparing this report, Z-Mill bloggers are reporting that another wave of drones is approaching Tuapse. They may not be flamingos, but it's very nice to see how the Mosquitoes continue their migrations in large swarms deep into the territory of the Horde. Tomorrow we'll surely see the results of their visit to Mordor. On April 27, the commander of the Unmanned Systems Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Robert Magyar Brovdy, gave an interview to the BBC in which he stated that they carry out daily precision strikes at distances between 1,500 and 2,000 kilometers inside Russian territory. So the Horde's deep rear is no longer peaceful, and that their freedom-loving birds fly around whenever and wherever they want. Air defense takes down some drones, but others cause significant damage to the military-industrial complex, to critical infrastructure, plants essential for the war effort, as well as to Army Z facilities. He also announced that these attacks will intensify with an emphasis on oil infrastructure, which is considered a legitimate military target because it finances the invasion. Also against the Horde's personnel, since their units have direct orders to eliminate more Russian soldiers each month than Mortar can recruit, a goal that has been achieved over the past few months. And we are already seeing the results of that promise because the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine confirmed on May 1st that units of the system's forces, unmanned units, successfully attacked high-value Russian combat aircraft at the Shagol military airfield in Russia's Chelyabinsk region on April 25, 2026. In this raid, two fifth-generation Sukhoi Su-57 Felon stealth fighters and a Su-34 fullback fighter bomber were reportedly destroyed. This airfield is about 1,700 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, in the heart of the Ural region, and had already been attacked by Special Forces teams. However, the fact that now the drones are not only able to reach this base deep in the Russian rear, but also evade the Horde's air defense network to precisely strike fighter jets is truly an impressive demonstration of capabilities. The satellite images published by Excelenova reveal clear signs of activity in the aircraft parking areas, including debris, shrapnel impact patterns, emergency response vehicles clustered around the former positions of the planes, and the absence of the Su-57 and Su-34. These movements are consistent with post-attack damage control and recovery operations. The Su-57, Russia's most advanced stealth fighter, and the pillar of its supposed air superiority. There are very limited numbers,
ya que se cree que menos de 30 unidades.
Each of these aircraft represents a huge investment in technology and resources. Damaging several of these stealth fighters, even on the ground, inflicts disproportionate strategic costs on the invader, since it forces them to divert resources to protect critical facilities in the rear. The importance of Shagol goes beyond the aircraft stationed there. Chelyabinsk is an important Russian defense industrial city, home to tank production and other heavy defense industries. The Shagol airfield serves as a base for aircraft operating in the region and as a center for training and maintenance. A Ukrainian drone attack that hit that location indicates that Russian aviation assets deployed in what Moscow likely considered safe rear bases are no longer out of reach of the defenders. Thank you. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Be sure to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Lastly, visit our store, where you can find items inspired by some of Ukraine's most outstanding units. Carry history with you, and with every purchase, you'll be supporting the United 24 program, which directly supports reconstruction programs, helps the civilian population, and defense. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.